Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that is completely flipping how we view the modern workforce. For the longest time, businesses just assumed, if you hire smart people and pay them a fair wage, success is practically guaranteed. But as we're going to see, talent alone just isn't enough anymore. What we're really talking about here is the core engine of organizational success, employee engagement. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this mindset for a second. I want this organization to succeed because I feel that I am an important part of it. Think about that. This isn't just someone saying, well, I do my tasks so I don't get fired. No, this is a deep emotional commitment. This one single sentence absolutely nails exactly what organizations are desperately trying to cultivate right now, that genuine, heartfelt investment in a shared future.
Section 1. Beyond the daily grind. Valuable partners.
So, there's this fundamental shift happening in modern human resources. We are finally moving past that old school era where people were viewed as mere task doers, literally just resources in a giant corporate machine. Today, an employee is a valuable partner. They're the ones actually contributing the new ideas, they're driving the innovation, and they're directly fueling growth. It's a complete 180-degree upgrade in how we value human potential. To really understand this, we have to look at William Kahn. He's a pioneer in this research, and he defined engagement back in 1990 using this brilliant rule of 3. He said it's about expressing yourself physically, cognitively, and emotionally at work. I actually love to think of this as the hands, the head, and the heart. Think about it. If someone is only giving you their physical presence, just showing up to punch the clock, they aren't fully engaged. You absolutely need their brain power and their emotional care to unlock true high performance.
Moving on to Section 2, Why Engagement Actually Matters, the Business Case.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the tangible return on investment a committed workforce brings. It is massive. We aren't just talking about warm, fuzzy feelings here. Engaged employees actually drive improved productivity simply because they're motivated to achieve goals, not just mindlessly finish tasks. They provide better customer service. And think about turnover for a second. When people feel emotionally connected, they don't leave. That dramatically slashes those incredibly expensive recruitment and training costs.
And then there's innovation. Innovation doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? And it for sure doesn't happen in an environment of fear. Engaged employees actively participate because they feel psychologically safe. When your team feels genuinely safe to express opinions and pitch weird, new ideas without fear of being shut down, well, that is the exact bedrock where innovation thrives. Which brings us to Section 3, the 3 employee types, levels of engagement. There is a really stark contrast here. On one side, you've got the engaged employee. They're enthusiastic, supportive, and willingly taking on new responsibilities way beyond their formal job description. But then on the complete opposite side, you have the disengaged employee, doing the bare minimum and literally just counting down the seconds until 5 p.m. Seriously, take a second and think about your own workplace right now. You can probably spot these exact behavioral differences in people you know.
But it's not just black and white. There is this massive middle ground, the moderately engaged employee. These folks, they perform their assigned duties completely fine. They meet the minimums, but they rarely contribute beyond those baseline expectations. They're kind of just bridging the gap between the two extremes, which actually means they are totally ripe for improvement. They usually just need the right push, the right motivation, and a bit more involvement to tip them right over into that fully engaged category.
Let's look at Section 4. Drivers of real engagement, the actionable toolkit. So the crucial point is that engagement doesn't just happen by accident. It relies heavily on supportive, ethical leadership providing real guidance and constructive feedback. It also requires meaningful work. Employees absolutely must understand how their daily, seemingly small tasks directly contribute to the grand success of the organization. Add in transparent communication, clear career growth so they actually see a future for themselves, plus a solid work-life balance, you've got the perfect recipe for deep, lasting commitment. But remember, you can't just set it and forget it. Engagement is not some once-a-year event or a quick HR box to check off. It's a continuous process. You start with surveys and interviews to get a baseline. Then you dive a bit deeper with focus groups. Finally, you look at the hard data, like turnover and absenteeism analysis. This ongoing feedback loop is what actually helps management identify their blind spots and constantly refine their approach.
Section 5, Adapting the Digital Workplace.
And this brilliantly illustrates how much the toolkit has evolved. We aren't just relying on a dusty suggestion box in the break room anymore, right? Organizations are now using online surveys, virtual town halls, digital recognition platforms, and even AI-powered feedback tools. This technology is incredible because it bridges geographical gaps. Whether your team is sitting in the same building or spread out across 5 different time zones, you can maintain team morale and keep employees engaged no matter where they physically are. However, we have to admit that this shift comes with some serious friction points. Remote and hybrid arrangements can definitely lead to isolation. There's rampant workplace stress and burnout, rapid change, and sweeping generational differences in what people actually expect from work. For example, Gen Z might highly value flexibility, while older generations might prioritize traditional stability. A truly successful organization isn't one that just avoids these challenges. It's one that continuously adapts its strategies to meet these diverse expectations head-on. Which brings us to a major aha moment from the source material. Employee engagement is driven more by trust, purpose, meaningful work, and recognition than by salary alone. Now, of course, fair compensation is important. You absolutely have to pay people what they are worth. But long-term engagement? That depends entirely on a human-centric twist, creating an environment where people feel deeply valued and connected to a larger mission. Purpose and respect will always trump a paycheck when it comes to keeping someone's heart and mind fully in the game. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to help you evaluate your own environment. Are your employees just showing up, or are they emotionally invested in your future? Honestly, it's the difference between merely surviving as an organization and truly thriving. Take a hard look at your workplace, apply these strategies, and start unlocking the massive potential of human engagement. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.